Are you struggling with parenting? Do you know that traditional parenting is not working anymore? Do you want to discover ways how can you raise children authentically? Not only children of toddlers or but everything. You can use this technique so you can raise your children authentically. If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are on the right place because today is a very special day. I'm very blessed because I had the opportunity to interview Shay Rowbottom, Forbes #1 social media influencer, and also the #1 influencer and video creator here on LinkedIn. And she shared, being raised by a narcissist parent, Shay Rowbottom shared her heart on how you can raise your children authentically. And also with me today are very two special guests. I have Najla Kfoury, who's from Lebanese, and I have Mafae Belasco, who's from Philippines. I am very blessed because for those of you who don't know me already, my name is Wandalin Tankalupig. I am the founder of Working Moms Academy. And Working Moms Academy's mission is to help moms who are stressed and burnout to overcome the stress of everyday by sharing life tools, that education lacks. And we do a lot of live webinars every Friday now, 6 p.m. Manila time, 2 p.m. Dubai time, to really learn from these mothers who are living life, who are experts in their own lives and in their own industries. And today, of course, I have a parenting expert, Najla, and of course, Mafi, an expert mom of, I think she has 5 children. Let them share more information about it. And those of you who don't know Working Moms Academy, we do training, coaching, and we have corporate programs that we are offering in partnership with American Management Association, who is a world leader in professional development. There are about 100 courses that you can work with us and we can help you with, because this is a tie-up with American Management Association and Quintegral Asia. And also, for those of you who want to really make this year the best year for you, we are launching a group coaching soon, because I understand a lot of people learn, but a lot of people want to get the results that they wanted. So we are having a group coaching program starting this April. And also, I would like to invite you in Working Moms Academy's Facebook support group, because starting this week, actually I was live 2 hours ago. I had a live coaching call with one of the community members. And I had so much fun sharing what I know and helping these moms break through with the stress and pressures of every day. So our topic today, how to raise toddlers and teenagers authentically, because one of the queries that I received, Wanda, how do I really take care of my children? What is really the best way to parent them? And I myself, when I became a parent of two, I was like, my two daughters are very different. When I shout, my eldest will cry. But when I shout also, the youngest one will just ignore me fully. So I was like, what is really the best parenting way? Because the way my mom parented me is not working with my children anymore. So today we'll talk about mindful parenting. But before I bring my guest on stage, let me just understand and define for you what mindful is. Because this month we spoke about mindfulness only. So mindfulness means maintaining a moment by moment awareness of your thoughts, feelings, body sensations, and surrounding environment through a gentle, nurturing lens. And let's talk about how does mindfulness apply to parenting and what is the meaning of mindful parenting. Mindful parenting, it's a very long source. I cannot mention it. I will share the slides later. Mindful parenting means that you bring your conscious attention to what's happening instead of getting hijacked by your emotions. See, it's emotional awareness. It's also about letting go of guilt and shame about the past and focusing on the now. I love that. Focusing on the present moment. And it's also about accepting whatever is going on rather than trying to change or ignore it. Well, as a working mom, I think I wear many hats as a trainer, coach, career woman, but challenge the most challenging and fulfilling role I have is being a parent. So today, let me bring my guest on stage and let me introduce them first. So let me introduce Najla. I hope I'm pronouncing her last name. Kfoury is a mom and certified conscious parenting coach. She is coaching parents to build new conscious family patterns of connection, cooperation, and harmony within the home. She helps parents to make profound shifts in their parenting and family relationships that allow deep connection, cooperation, and peace of mind between them and their child. Wow, I love what you're doing. So let me bring Najla. Najla, can you tell more about yourself? And thank you for saying yes to this.
Hi, Wanda. Thank you so much. I'm very happy to be with you today. Thank you. Yes,
So,
so yeah, I'm a mom of a 14-year-old girl, and I'm so proud that I have a peaceful relationship and very deep connection with my daughter. And it's a result of the work of conscious parenting and mindfulness. And I love work with parents and with kids and teens since I'm certified wisdom life coach for kids and teens as well. So I work with parents and with children, and it's so rewarding just seeing this peaceful relationship and deep connection unfolding in the family. It's really very rewarding, and I work with moms over 12 weeks. I have a program. It's one-on-one coaching over 12 weeks, and we dig deeper into all the triggers or the fears, insecurities, and we get it, unfold, and then we work on the connection, communication, and how to get this peaceful relationship with the child.
Hi, that's very nice. I think every parent need that 12-week program. Because the truth, Najla, I mean, nobody in my corporate 21-year corporate career or my 41 years of existence, taught me about parenthood. No academic education prepared us for this. So thank you for what you're doing, and would love to hear more from you later. But of course, let me introduce my other guests. I'm very fortunate again. Si Najla is in Dubai, but she's originally from Lebanon. But I have another guest who is on the Philippines. And let me introduce Mafae Yunon Belasco is a mom and is best known for her success in the beauty pageant industry, having won prestigious awards locally and internationally, such as Miss Philippines Australia 1998, Binibining Pilipinas World. Wow, and prominently landing top 5 in the Miss World competition in China. And she's also Mrs. Philippine Globe 2008. Mafae is now a certified life coach who is passionate about empowering others with her family campaign, Save Lives Online. So Mafae, welcome on Working Moms. Thank you for being. Can you tell us more what you do? Mafae, your mic. Sorry, Mafae. I think your mic. Yeah,
Oh,
your mic.
there. Okay,
Okay,
so let
again.
me recap. Yeah, so what I was sharing is that thank you, Wanda, for having me. But apart from your introduction, apart from the pageant world, I always love to introduce myself as first and foremost a child of God, a daughter to my parents, a sister to my amazing brothers, and also a wife to my husband, who's also an inspiring man, Nick Belasco, and a mother of my 6 amazing children that keep me on my toes. And that's the reason why I do what I do, which is my passion is seeing others' passions awaken. And through that, I am a certified life coach now through my mentor, Kimilu, who is the first life coach in the Philippines, has been mentoring me for over 7 years now. And I'm just enjoying mentoring other women, the youth, most especially, because I believe that they are the future. So giving them the guidance of the lessons that we've learned, through our life journey is very important. So that's always, a give back that I always do is developing the youth's personality development.
Thank you, Mafi, for that. I cannot imagine that you have 6 kids right now. So I mean, the way you look is like, I think sometimes you look younger than a 20-year-old. I mean, you look
Thank
so
you. Well,
prepared. So,
it all goes with self self-care or just making sure that you're okay before you can take care of others. I truly believe in that. Mind, body, and soul is important, and the reason why I make sure that I'm okay, or my physical and emotion, is because I know I have like a big job to do, right? Whatever I share should also resonate on my appearance, on my what I share with my words. So that's another campaign I do, is actions speak louder than words. So even if I share it, if I don't do it, then that doesn't make you a good leader, right?
That's true. Thank you, Mafe, for sharing that. So today, before we speak more about mindful parenting, about how to raise your kids, authentically, let us first listen to this interview that I had with Shay Rowbottom. Shay Rowbottom, for those of you who don't know her, she's one of the top social media influencer. She was named by Forbes by the number one social media influencer of 2020. She is a very high profile influencer, especially on LinkedIn. And
Mm-hmm.
she really shares her thoughts in terms of how can you raise children authentically, because she came out from a narcissist family and was raised by narcissist parent. And I really reached out to her on LinkedIn and just asked her, Shay, I'm working on this Working Moms Academy with the goal to really help us mothers become better parents. And being a children and a product of a narcissist family, I think it's a good way to hear from you. How can we become better parents? So let's hear it from her. Then I'll bring Najla and Mafae and myself back on stage to digest whatever Shay is going to share.
Can you raise children authentically? What's really that? What do you think? How can you really raise somebody authentically?
Oh, it's a beautiful question. I think that how to raise a child authentically is to be authentic. You know, um, children don't actually need to be raised. That's a myth. That's a myth. That's a construct that we've created in society. You ever wonder why, like, you look around and so many people are depressed and sick and unhappy and addicted? It's because we raise children. We don't need to raise them. They come into this world whole, happy, and complete, in touch with God, in touch with their emotions. They are authentically them. All we need to do is hold space for them. All we need to do is take care of them. Hey, you want some food? You want to here, go play in the pool. You want some friends? We don't actually need to raise them. So I think that's the biggest misconception. A lot of people think, that there's some magic manual for creating a human. It's actually not. It's actually just a manual for how to create a conditioned human to live in today's narcissistic society. So if you want your child to be part of the new age of family that's actually authentic, living in their heart space, and living in their truth, I would say allow them to be who they are. Just allow them to be who they are. Don't try so hard to control anything. You don't need to, and that's really the transition we're going through right now on the planet. Is we're going through a transition where people are finally waking up to realize, what, maybe the way that we've been living is not working. Maybe the government, the system that we have, has not been working. Maybe the way that we've been parenting is not working. What can we do differently? And it all comes down to working on yourself. The more that you are whole, happy, and complete as a parent, the more the child is going to grow up um, emulating that same thing and radiating that same energy. I can be who I want because mommy is who she wants. I treat people with respect because mommy treats people with respect. I'm going to have a husband one day who loves me and treats me like a queen because daddy loves mommy and treats her like a queen. So these are all things that come down to you. You don't have to teach your kid anything. You have to teach yourself how to be these things. Be the change you want to see in the world. That's what Gandhi said. Be the change you want to see. So if you want your child to be a certain way, be that way. Don't preach and teach and project onto them. Just simply be a good person, and your child will be the same. So I would say, if I ever had a kid, I would just be very, very aware of when this child triggers me, that it's actually something in me. and it actually has nothing to do with the kid. And I would, as best I can, stop myself in my tracks to go, okay, wait a minute. Why am I triggered by this? What is it that this kid is doing that's wrong? Why do I feel this way? And it's always going to come down to something in me that needs healing, in me that needs resolving as the parent. And the more I resolve that within myself, the more I am actually loving my child. That's the best thing that you can do for your child, is work on yourself. So that's what I would say.
That's very good. Thank you very much, Shay, for sharing. That's a lot of it. But, that is why Working Moms Academy is all about. We want to help mothers heal themselves, to understand themselves more so they could become better parents. Because I've been there. I mean, I experienced burnout in 2014 and I realized, wait, why am I like this? And I realized I live the life the way my mom said. But I was like, what do I really want? But then when I started to reflect on what do I really want in life and how can I be that? And how can I do that? So that is when I was able to, move out of my burnout, become happier because I started to remember who I was and what I wanted to do. And I think a lot of parents will really learn a lot from your sharing today as you reflect back on what could have been done better. I agree with you in many aspects on how things are not working now. That's why it really needs to be fixed. And thank you so much again for them. I really, really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, Wanda. And for anyone listening who wants to follow me, I do talk about narcissistic parenting all the time. You can find me on LinkedIn, linkedin.com/in/Shay Rowbottom, or anywhere on social media at Shay Rowbottom. You can follow my content. I'd love to keep you up to date and informed with what I'm talking about. And thank you again for having me.
Thank you so much. Have a great day, Shay.
You too.
Bye.
That was very powerful. Let me remove. When I interviewed Shay I think it was last month. I was really just, I'm mind blown by it. Was a 40-minute interview and there are a lot of nuggets of wisdom. But of the many things she said, this is what struck me the most. How can you raise children authentically? Because we parents have the biggest responsibility of raising our children, but we have no manual for that. And she said it very well. So today, let me bring Mafae and Najla back on stage and let us talk about what Shay said. I think in terms of raising toddlers and teenagers authentically, she spoke first about, you don't need, what she said, which I remember, said, you don't even have to raise your children. You just give them the space to be themselves. And let me share my experience and we'll hear from Mafi and from Najla. I mean, I learned that I used to raise them the same, but they always come out differently. And I was initially thinking there might be something wrong with me because my mom raised us the same and we have to be the same. But it was also a struggle, between my three sisters and I because we are really three unique personalities. But then I realized, and when I started to embrace that both my children are different in terms of where they excel in school, what they love to do, and I just let them do that. And I also give them a space to be together. So every time during the day, I will allow them to watch TV or, draw or what. But I also tell them, can you please spend time together? Because this is what is most important. Your gadgets will always be there, your friends will always be online, but your sister is here and she needs to be seen, heard, and understood. So, and that works well for them. If I see them fighting, at some point, I will say, did you spend time together? And they will say, yeah, yeah, we're busy, mommy, we're sorry. So I know it already. So Mafe, having a children of six, can you share us the age gap of your six children so I can understand more? How are you using this principle of allowing your children to be themselves?
Yes. So my children are ages. Nico is 21 years old now, and Mike is 18. Moses is 16 years old. Nikki, my only princess, my only girl, she is 12. And then I have Noah, who is 5 years old, and Mello, my 1 year old. So, through time, parenting is different with all the children. And it goes to show also as a mom or as a parent, my experience, right? Looking back, like you said, our parents instilled in us a way that they knew how to parent us. And of course, we have grabbed certain techniques or skills or wisdom from them, and we've adapted to our own lifestyle. But every single child is different, and I also homeschool my children. So through homeschooling, I was able to learn their learning language, because each child, or all of us, have love languages. So if you understand the love language of your child, then you're able to adapt the learning language also. Like, for example, I have certain, my sons. There's my eldest, Nico. He's very book smart. I can have him independent and he can learn things on his own. Whereas my second eldest and my third eldest, they're creatives. So they need to move around. They need to use their hands. They cannot sit in their chair for more than an hour, So having said that, it's true what our speaker said earlier. You have to allow them to evolve. You have to understand where their passions are coming from. And then when you can see it, then that's what you praise. We are their guide. But of course, we set rules and boundaries, because at the end of the day, when they go out to the real world and have their own families or even go to college on their own, they understand that in society, you cannot just do what you please. You also have to follow rules. You have to respect everybody, right? But at the same time, you're your own true self. So I'm not saying I'm a perfect parent. I have my off days too, like you. I heard you say, Wanda, like there are times like you just want to scream. That's normal, I think, right? as moms, you just kind of like, oh my gosh. But at the end of the day, they are blessings for me. And to add to that, Nico and Mike are also my angels, meaning to say I'm a bonus mom for them. My husband was my guide he was already a parent before I became a parent. And he taught me how to deal with our first child, which is Moses, who's 16. So just having that mentor and someone that already knew what to do was a big help for me. And what you're doing here, like with the Moms Academy, is like, first time moms, I get excited because I give them all this wisdom. I'm like, okay, before you have the baby, get your sleep, because you're not going to get sleep for the first 3 months. So that's one thing that I like to give. Like, I like to give back also to new moms. And of course we evolve, every day is a new day. It's not like a 9 to 5. This is like 24/7 job. As a parent, as a mom, you're there up until, let's say, they turn 21 or maybe 18 when they're going to college. By that time, that's when a parent is feeling that fulfillment that, okay, I can let go, But also as a Filipina parent, my parents instilled in me that you stay till you get married, right? That's our norm. But, my husband, he grew up in America. So his norm is, you go in college, you leave the house, you're good to go, right? So there's different parenting, I guess, decisions. But at the end of the day, will you allow your child to really find their passion early and make that, bloom? You'll be surprised how happy they feel. Like, to me, when we transitioned to homeschooling, my 3 older boys actually had experience in traditional school. When we took them out, that's when they bloomed. Now my eldest is a motivational speaker. The second, Mike, is like he's a musician, self-taught. Moses is a graphic artist. And that's the reason why I also build Mafae Management, because of them. I have a family of creatives. And unfortunately, I can't sing as much as I want to sing or even play the guitar or anything. I know I have the experience on somewhat guiding them, being a manager, being a talent manager, being a life coach, and then a business coach. So in that sense, I give them that skill set. Street smart is always something to have. It's a good tool to have when you're out in the real world, because it's cutthroat. You want to be able to trust your child that they can take care of themselves, right? And I believe that's how I bring up my children. And I agree on again, the speaker earlier, that you just allow, but set boundaries and rules.
I love that. Thank you, Mafae, for sharing. When you were mentioning the age of your children, I was like, oh my God, that's a lot. family planning. But also at the same time, I was thinking, how can she manage with so much children? I only have two and I'm overwhelmed already. So let's hear from Najla. You know, Najla, I learned there are two ways. When you become a parent, you either become the same as your parent or opposite of that. And how can you really, as Shay said, just let your children be themselves? Can you expand more as an expert conscious parenting coach? What does it mean?
Right, we think that it's either parenting like our parents or opposite to our parents, but actually we are always parenting the way we were parented. Like unconsciously, we are always parenting the way we were parented. We do some self-development work, we work on ourselves, and then it becomes, we become triggered with our child. So our child is the big teacher. So in every time we get triggered, it means that, oops, we should look at this trigger and find why we were triggered. And it goes to our childhood. It goes to the way we were parented, So with conscious parenting and mindful parenting, we have a paradigm shift, a set of beliefs that we are completely shifting from an old model to a new model, from control parenting to empowering our kids, empowered parents. We are shifting from fear to love. With the old paradigm, you have the yelling, the screaming, you have all these reactions. You don't know else, just reacting. You have the yelling, the screaming, the shaming, the blaming, the withdrawal of love. Like, if you do this, I love you. You don't do, I don't love you. So with the mindful and conscious parenting, we don't have all these things. So it's unconditional love, it's patience, it's concern, it's validating the emotions, acknowledging the feelings, validating the needs. And it's like just considering that every behavior is a communication. The child is just communicating an unmet need. So instead of wondering how would I change my child's behavior, just asking, how can I help my child? What can I do for my child? How can I help my child regulate? How can I help my child problem solve? So we don't want to change the behavior, because behind the behavior, there's an unmet need. We want to find what's that need, and we want to meet this need. And holding space for our child is huge. We just hold space for our child, for all those feelings to unfold, and then for our child to feel this sacred, safe space to be able to express his feelings. We want children to be able to express their feelings. We want them to be able to problem solve independently, to self-regulate, to be creative. We want them to have healthy relationships. Not just this relationship with our child, but healthy relationships in the future. And we want to remember that parenting is a partnership. It's a partnership with our child. Okay, and this creates deep connection with the child. So labeling our children and then shaming them won't help the child to bloom. We don't, as Mafae said, so she's just focusing on her children's strength and working on these strength to make something very special for them, and the love language to connect, and the passion and everything. So this is deep. This is very important, and all this couldn't be done without compassionate communication. Okay, so compassionate communication is very important. We need to listen deeply with empathy to our children, not judging them, refraining from comparison, because comparison kills this connection. So that's very important as well.
Agree.
Najla, you shared so much wisdom. I was like, when I was typing, I was so much pressured because you are dropping so many things which are very good. I hope you are learning a lot. You know, Najla, you dropped so many good things there. I think I agree with you, right? I think when you become a parent, you are a part, it's a partnership with your children. When you see it
Mm-hmm.
from that concept that you are not the boss, you are not the leader, you are a you are a partner to this relationship. So it's really and you said compassionate communication. And
Mm-hmm.
you shared a lot in terms of you just, allow them to feel their emotions, and you should not stop them from whatever they're feeling. Instead, you ask yourself, how can I help my children? What do I need to do? That makes it very powerful because a lot of people ask, how do I really become a better parent? I think just asking yourself that question only of how can I help my child? Instead of telling them stop crying or stop doing this and that, you ask that simple question, how can I help you? And then that is where really everything flows. So let's move to the next one. I think Shay also mentioned that, as you said, Najla, there's something that triggers you when your child is behaving, there's something that triggers you. So know your own feelings when your child is in conflict with you. And I learned something called healing the inner child within. You know what they said? When you become a parent, you suddenly come back to seeing yourself as a child. And either two things. You give so much to your children because you don't have that when you were a child, or you don't give them whatever they want because your belief is that I never had that when I was a child, so why would you, right? So let's talk more about. So Mafi, can you share your thoughts about that on how your children are triggering your unmet needs as a parent and as a child, and how do you overcome it?
Well, like I said, it's a challenge every day. You just never know what you will receive that day. For me, I have been really uh, keeping in mind my mind and body and soul. My mindset. Because if I'm not okay, then whatever I'm receiving, apart from my children or even everybody around me, if I react a certain way, that means I'm not receiving it, uh, looking into their shoes or being in their position. Because as a child, like my 5 year old, I was mentioning earlier in my other show, is that yes, I'm doing work, I'm doing a live, but as a 5 year old, they don't understand the meaning of that. Is it what brings food to the table? So you have to have that open communication with them. And that's something that I value. Growing up, it was perhaps a challenge for my own parents to share any, the real emotional attention. Even hearing the words "I love you." I didn't grow up hearing that all the time, but I felt it. I knew my parents loved me. But that's something that my husband and I are very open with our children. They hear "I love you" many times in a day. And that's something that I want to instill in my children, that they know what I say is my actions too. So at the end of the day, I will keep elevating my heart, my balance, because they can easily trigger us, right? And I know a lot of new parents don't understand that yet, but for me, having multiple kids, I was able to get better every single time. So now, when I know I acted wrongly, I, my husband and I are the first to say sorry, and explain why we were the way we were, why our voices were raised. You know, it's not you. Obviously, it's me. I'm the elder one. I'm your guide. I'm your support. So whatever I was feeling at that moment, it's not your fault. Because as a child, they're learning, they're growing. So it's up to us. If we go back and shout at them, then they're going to be like, okay, I can't talk to mom. I can't talk to my dad because they're going to react this way. And that's not the parenting that I want to instill, or what I want to share to other parents, is that no, you want your children to speak to you. You want them to ask you those questions, because there's so many tools right now that they can easily turn to. Speaking of the gadgets, speaking of online, Google, instead of asking us, what is this? Why is this like this? Then they're going to go somewhere else and possibly not even get the right answer. So that's where we have to really reevaluate. When they react a certain way, let's take a step back. Whatever it is that is on our plate has to be set aside, because now whatever we say, whatever we do, will now determine how they will act when they're an adult, right? We were talking about earlier how we have taken a lot of skills from our own parents. Now that's what we do as in our subconscious, that's how we act. So now, are we going to do the same, right? Are we going to instill with them positive skills, or are we going to instill with them that, okay, my day is bad, so their day has to be bad too? So that's like the constant, not even battle. It is a fun challenge if you really think about it. But at the end of the day, is our work still going to be there if we take 5 minutes of our time to just deal with our child? Yes, right? So, there.
Thank you, Mafae. There's a lot of insights there also. I think I agree with you. Parenting also is a constant journey of re-evaluating, of stepping back, what's working well, what can you do better. And I think, yeah, it's always, they said, this life is a mirror. So whatever you do is a reflection of who you are. So when you own that, then you become a different person altogether. So let's hear Najla. I know you will have a great thought in terms of this healing the inner child within. I mean, I know it's a lot of work that most parenting coach like you do. Can you tell us more about it and how does it really work?
Outside, the trigger is always from the inside. So what's going on inside? And the trigger is rooted in our fear. What's our ultimate fear? So if you dig deeper to just check what's our ultimate fear, we can resolve that trigger, and then we can shift our paradigm. We can just have another perspective of the whole situation. So being authentic, as we said, is just finding who we are and accepting ourselves the way we are. It's just by accepting ourselves and embracing ourselves the way we are that we're able to accept our children the way they are. We don't need to fix them or to produce anything from them. We just need to accept them the way they are. Because what the child needs, the child just needs to be seen, to be heard, to be loved, to feel that he's worthy, that he's enough. And what we all need to be heard, seen, feel that we're worthy and that we are enough. So working on this inner work allows us to accept and embrace ourselves. And we have to accept that we're not perfect. And these imperfections are learning opportunities. They're learning opportunities for compassion, learning opportunities for forgiveness, learning opportunities for repair. It's okay if something happened. It's an opportunity to repair the relationship. It's opportunity to deepen the connection. It's an opportunity to forgive, for self-forgiveness and forgive others, self-compassion and compassion to our children and other persons. So this is the inner work, and this is how this inner work unfolds when we forgive, when we find what's our fear, when we are compassionate towards ourselves, and when we are willing to repair the relationship. And to be able to do that, I just want to add that to be able to do that, we have to be willing to let go of painful experiences from the past. And yes, and then ask ourselves, did I feel secure, loved, heard growing up, or did I feel like controlled, anxious, scared, and lonely? Just dig deeper. And we must be willing to let go of our agenda for our children, our expectations for our children. Expectations and fear. It's not letting us live the present moment. To be mindful, it's living the present moment. It's not living in the past, which is fear, and in the future, which is expectations. So just embracing this present moment, taking a deep breath, just cleaning in the feeling that we are feeling, and then until it's gone. So we can do this by simply wrapping our hands around and then flooding our body with some love. And this is, yes, and this is, proven scientifically that when we hug ourselves, when we wrap ourselves with the hands, we can just flood ourselves with love, and we can self-regulate, and then we can just calm our nervous system, and it brings us in another state. We're shifting from a state of fear to a state of love.
Wow, that's very nice and very simple. For those of you who are watching, I love that, Najla. I watched that in that Korean Korean. It's okay if you're not okay. I think that's the title of what I watched, and she was constantly one of the therapies that was taught to her. If you're feeling empty or lonely, just hug yourself. And Najla, I mean, I just know that it's actually a proven technique scientifically that can help you self-regulate, and it's the best way also to give yourself self-love, because I understand, see, parents are burnout and stressed because you don't have self-love first. And if you have love for yourself, that is when you have love to share with others, which brings us to the last point, I think, which Shay said. If for you to be a better parent, work on yourself first, because your children will automatically follow. And I also seen that with my children. I mean, I've been journaling for quite a while, and they've seen that. And during the pandemic last year, they were like, "Mommy, I'm getting scared really of what's happening. Can you also buy me a journal so I can start writing my thoughts?" And journaling helped my children a lot to manage their emotions, their fears, the uncertainty in terms of what's happening now. And before they sleep, they always grab their journal, regardless of how late it is. Sometimes we go out, we come home 12 a.m. In Dubai, especially, it's a weekend. I mean, malls are open until what time? Groceries until 3 a.m. So we come home late, but they really sit down and digest their emotion. Just record what they're thankful for, what's scary about the day, and just let go. And that gives them a lot of good sleep. So, Mafe, can you give some tips in terms of how did you work on yourself that have positively impacted your children?
Well, I intentionally have my, the things that I love to do. I intentionally make time for that. I was actually another way of saying that. From another coach that I was speaking with earlier. Also, she said that, you know, you should be happy to get to do things. You don't say I got to work. I have to work or something like that. You say it in a way where I am lucky that I get to work. I'm lucky that I get some time for me to do a 5-minute exercise or an 8-minute exercise. I always tell myself there's no excuses. If you need that time, there's small moments in the day that you can take that time out. I've gained to love the gong meditation. So that always helps me re-energize. So I always do this 5-minute gong meditation midday, just to help me. After lunch, of course, you're feeling like, okay, once you eat, you want to just take a siesta nap. So that would be my re-energy. Like, it re-energizes me, it refocuses me. But like a personal also habit, like my morning habits is I read a Bible verse every morning, and that always gets me to guide me on what truly the purpose is each and every day. Is it for myself? Is it for my children? Is it for my family? Is it for my husband? Is it for my team or the people that I mentor? So I always have, like you, journaling. I have a wish list of life. So I always add, when you have New Year's resolution. So this wish list is always started in the new year, the New Year's Day. But I add, once I tick off the ones that become into reality, I add what else I want in my life, and I'm very specific. When you manifest things in the universe and you really foresee the reality of it, you know, even with really detailed wishes. And you pray for it, you have this vision board, then it comes true. And one of my priority for this year and even last year was to take care of my health, to take care of myself, because I do find myself taking care of others first. And then, like you said earlier, Wanda, there is such a thing as a burnout. As moms, as like mompreneurs, or even life coaches, I've been taught how to not absorb, other people's challenges in life, because I'm supposed to be the strong pillar there, but I'm also human. So that's how I make sure that I'm very intentional on taking care of my mind, body, and soul.
That's very nice. Thank you, Mafi, for sharing that. So you said reading Bible verses, also that this is the first time I heard that gong meditation. So it's a sound meditation, right?
Yes.
It's like
I'll send
you
you,
you do a
I'll send you.
gong.
Yeah, it's
Ah,
just 5 minutes, and then you
oh,
just have vibrations go, through your body, and then all of a sudden it's like you. For me, it feels like I drank some coffee,
oh,
because it
wow.
just energizes and just brings me back to my
Mm,
balanced state.
that's very good. So I think you're an auditory person because you connect a lot with sound.
Yeah.
So I think, see, when we moms, put ourselves first and work on ourselves. I mean, only last year also I invested in my health. For the first time, I invested in the 90-day coaching program, which helped me lose 7 kilos. And I taught myself how to drink green juice. So my daughters were also, starting to drink juice now, which is green juice, and they start to eat more vegetable because they saw mommy doing it. So Najla, can you give us more tips as mothers? How can we become better mothers, and what can we do so our children can follow us?
Better mothers is just being attuned to who you are and being in touch with who you are. Uh, just being in touch with who you are and listening to yourself, and most importantly, listening to your self talk, because whatever you're telling yourself is manifesting for you and for your family, you know. So, self talk is very important. Listen to your self talk, listen to your children's self talk. What are they? What are the stories they're telling themselves? And this is very important, And for me, what's important as well is the intention. I set an intention for the day, and this intention could vary through the day. But my first intention as I wake up is I choose love. It's always I choose love. So for me, whenever I choose love, I feel that I can make better decisions. So that's why I always remind myself, like, choose love. Whenever I feel this threatening emotions and that there's some fear or whatever comes, expectations, I just stop, I breathe, I choose love. Okay, and then while doing this, while breathing, I just say to myself, I'm safe, I can do this, and everything shifts. So you're more calm, and then everything shifts. And my final tip is gratitude. So I'm always at every moment grateful for everything in my life. So gratitude plays a big role in my life. I'm grateful for everything.
Thank you, Najla, for that. See, also like breathing, right? I also learned that only, I think, 2, 3 years ago. I mean, I know I'm breathing, but the proper way of like nostril breathing to just really calm yourself down. And I love that when you said, choose love. I think that love is something that never goes wrong. If you are finding it difficult to do something, just ask yourself, is this out of love? Because if it's not, then drop it. Because I'm sure, they said whatever you plant is what you reap. So if whatever you're doing now is not all out of love, then drop it, because the fruits of that will not also be something that's good. So today we're almost finished. I hope you did learn a lot from Mafae, from Najla, from Shay. I learned a lot as a mother and as a parent. And please, Mafe, again, invite everybody. For those who want to get in touch, I already typed here, but I hope you just mention what you do and how you can be of help to others.
Yes. Is it okay? I go first.
Yeah, you're good. You go first, Mafe.
Yeah, first of all, thank you, Wanda, for having me. This is such a great platform. You inspire everyone, most especially women and parents out there that need that guidance and support. We all need the support daily. We all need the extra wise words or inspiration to just get us through the day. I just wanted to invite everybody. I have a summit coming up with Collective Hustle in partnership of Infinite Purpose, and it's a free webinar summit with we are 6 women that have paved our way and our journey to making sure that we are successful in our businesses, in our careers, and we just want to share words of inspiration and the tools that we have utilized to maintain and make sure that we inspire people at the same time. So you can reach me. I think Wanda already has shared my links here, and feel free to ask me questions, guidance. I will be speaking about brand awareness. So my topic will be "Your image is your message." So I would be happy to see you there.
I love that. Your image is your message.
Yes.
It's a very nice tagline, right? So
Yes.
please connect with Mafe. You heard her. There's so much you can learn from her. And just connect. I already posted here Mafe's IG and everything that there is. And of course, Najla, I can see how much you can help parents like me, help become a better parent and person. So please tell us more about your 12-week program, and let me also put here your LinkedIn, and so people can connect with you. So just talk more about that before we end.
Yes, first I want to thank you. I'm so grateful to be here with you today. And you sharing my LinkedIn so they can connect with me on my email, on my LinkedIn. And my 12-week program is one on-one coaching program. So they can connect with me, and then we go through many things. We go deeper into the triggers, into the fears, insecurities. We resolve a lot of limiting beliefs, and then lots of breakthroughs, and then we build a relationship, a peaceful relationship of connection and empowered communication, um, based on nonviolent communication with our kids, with our spouse, so with everybody. And we learn how to be playful with our kids, and the importance of playing with our kids. And forgiveness is a big part of this program. So lots of forgiveness for ourselves and for others.
Thank you, Nasha. Please connect with Najla on LinkedIn. We can create a better world. I think if we start with ourselves, parents, because that is how we can impact our children. Thank you so much for those of you who are watching this on live or on replay in YouTube, LinkedIn, or Facebook. This is all about how to raise teenagers and toddlers authentically. I hope you find this useful. Till we see you again next week on the topic mindful leadership, how to be a mindful leader. And see you in the next 30 minutes. I have another live to talk about the search for the most influential Filipina on LinkedIn with Virginia Bautista and Gina Romero. Thank you, Najla. Thank you, Mafe. Have a great day. God bless you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.